Are you kidding me?
Hello. My name is Host Eric. I'm not talking with famous people. And INTP Red is amusing Lorenz Walker in the chat, apparently. We're talking about hidden agenda. And my take on the hidden agenda is the name of this article. It's on Socionics.com. And it says, hidden agenda is based on your fourth function, which is seventh in MBTI numbering. The one that hardly gets satisfied because the other three functions are considered before it. The psyche subconsciously wants it to be satisfied, but is overruled most times. The best way to have it fulfilled is through a partner. To understand how a function will produce a hidden agenda, you must consider how it operates as a primary function. The feeling or ethical function, when introverted, FI, places itself at the center of a perspective for purposes of rationalization. Its own values are considered first and foremost. Even when considering the needs of others, the perspective is self-centered. How do I feel? The function does for others, sometimes martyr-like, because it seeks attention to its own set of values. It would prefer the world to have the same set of values. It frequently does unto others as it wants others to do unto it. And this is accomplished through ministrations which can be construed as needing to love, the Joan of Arc function, so to speak. When the feeling or ethical function is extroverted, it places others at the center of perspective. Self and its values are considered last. When considering the needs of self, the perspective is still external. How would he or she feel? Because self is listened to or considered so little, the function needs to be looked after by the external world. Therefore, while it continually focuses on others, it needs support and validation from somewhere else, and this can be construed as needing to be loved. The thinking or logical function, when introverted, places its own rationalization at the center of perspective. Even when serving the needs of others, the perspective is self-centered. What do I think? What would meet that person's needs, and is having that person's needs met useful to my concept? This function takes it away to ponder it. It processes information into its own utilitarian view of the world. Because it operates on data that's already been extracted and dissociated from the world, its deductive reasoning requires a comprehensive study of the data that need to understand in order to produce output. What I'm trying to get at here is more information about this hidden agenda. So to recap, the kinds of hidden agendas there's to be loved, to be healthy, to be perfect, to understand, to be wealthy, to believe, to know, to love. And it comes from the Myers-Briggs seventh function. If anybody would like to comment on the way that the thing I just read, and specifically I'm talking about feelings, because that's what it applies to me, and you know how we are all about that stuff, that the problem is I'm not considering myself, how do I feel, and as a default at all. And according to Socionics, it says to attend to my hidden agenda is best attended to through a partner, which would explain exactly why I have the position I was saying to Lorenz Walker before about not wanting to conquer chicks, just trying to want to lock one down and have them attend to all my needs, and then not have to worry about relationship stuff anymore. Okay. So I'm interested in hearing any input from anybody. I see Zachary's arrived. Chad Crandall is maybe or maybe not here. It looks like I've got two names here. And so any suggestions or any thoughts, comments, concerns, complaints, queries, etc.?
Hey, Eric,
That's
it's
three
Chad.
words. Go ahead, Chad.
I missed the tail. I just got the tail end of this conversation, but I was interested in actually kind of a personal theory of mine. Do you think it's possible, from your understanding, at least my understanding as well, is I'm getting to the conclusion that ultimately, wherever you use your F function, whether it's third, fourth, first, second, that you have a subconscious desire to put a little more conscious light on the opposite attitude. So for me, you've talked about these hidden motives or desires, and I'm thinking, okay, I use FI in my fourth slot. I think it's a natural tendency to want to expand the conscious light into an area so as FEs to fulfill those subconscious needs. So as FE, it's not like I have a need to go extrovert feeling per se, but rather to receive that to complete the function.
And so that's why your hidden agenda is to be wealthy. But I don't think it's very well hidden, Chad.
Potentially.
My hidden agenda is to be loved. That seems easier, but it's actually not necessarily easier to accomplish than being wealthy. I think it's just they're both difficult to accomplish. Is my thinking on that.
Right. So I'd imagine that's what it is, but yeah, I figured that's that hidden motive is to complete that function. So to receive whatever it is that the other function, the other side needs, the side that is shaded in darkness. So the side that is light in consciousness. So for example, we have a side that's like Zachary just cloned my outfit.
I like the fact that I love our shirts. I love our shirts. I love being the one in black too.
As soon as your camera
There
goes,
goes the pillow. Okay, now it's time for serious time. Throwing the pillow aside.
All right. Let's get this going. Okay, so shining the light of consciousness on the darkness side, and I think that's not necessarily because this function isn't going to ever operate in its full capacity. Say if it were a dominant function, but it operates in a limited capacity. I think that the way that it can get its fulfillment is from receiving, or in other words, if it's an extroverted function in your case potentially, or rather an introvert's case, Zachary can comment on this, if it's receiving or initiating or executing the other side of that function to make it more fulfilled. Because as we know, there's only 4 functions and not 8. There's only 8 function attitudes. Right. So it makes me think and wonder if the function unconsciously desires to be fulfilled instead of actually being a partial function like Fi versus Fe instead of just being F.
Well, one thing, I agree with you completely. I think that's exactly what's happening, that the Fi, because it's so under attended to in any conscious or even effectively subconscious way in my stack, that it yearns for fulfillment from external sources. I think it's unfair the way these hidden agendas play out, though. It's a lot easier for me to actually achieve my hidden agenda by getting in a good relationship where the woman is the right kind of woman and matches up with me, my dual basically. That kind of solves my hidden agenda in some sense. Whereas, and it's easy, you can concretely solve your hidden agenda. If your hidden agenda is to be perfect, you got a tough road to hoe. And the person whose hidden agenda is to be perfect, according to this chart here, is the ESFJ, my ex-wife, and the ESTJ, my dad.
That's my father's one.
What do you think about this? We talked about projection. What do you think about projection of that unconscious function and to be desired? So maybe the ESFJ expects others to be perfect as well.
Wait, before you answer that, what's my hidden agenda?
You want to be healthy, Zach. You want to be healthy. You want to take your nose out of that book and go outside and run and play.
Eric, could you send me the link to this? I want to look at this as you're thinking about it.
Sure.
I think Chad is.
Go ahead.
Me?
Whoever that. Yeah, I can hear you. Right. Whoever that is talking, go ahead.
Margie.
Oh, hi.
Margie.
Oh, it's not Margie. It's Margie.
Right, Margie.
I had called you by the wrong name this whole time. Go ahead.
Okay. I think Chad was talking about everybody feels the need to FE and FI, and they do in their own way. So Chad as an ENTJ would use FE as his role function. So when he first meets somebody, just like an ESTJ, you will see FE come out. But it's short-lived, right? The first 2 functions, actually, yeah, I would need to show you a diagram.
Okay, well, so what specifically are you responding to here? Are you saying that in regards to...
Right, because I think you and Chad are speaking about 2 different things.
Okay, fine. So you're saying that Chad is saying that the feelings is going to be prioritized across the board regardless of the context? Is that what you're interpreting Chad is saying? Like that we all want both kind of feelings? I think that Chad and I are both interested probably in the feeling axis in part because it's low for us.
Zachary too, probably.
Probably Zachary as well. For you, as an INFJ, if I remember correctly, Marjay, and correct me if I'm wrong, then it's in second slot for you, so it seems much more of a naturally occurring phenomenon. Like you would tend to think, oh, well, we ought to be thinking more about these other things. Or thoughts? thoughts from anybody else? Zachary?
I'm still not really sure what hidden agenda is. I'm trying to like skim through this article and get an understanding. But how am I?
Right.
So is it
Your hidden
FI or
agenda-
FE for me? That would be my hidden agenda. Would it be FE?
Your hidden agenda is your third MBTI function. That would be FI for you, Zachary. So
Yes.
that means
It's
that
just,
FI. So
I just
your hidden
wanna be
agenda is to be. Sorry.
I just want to be comfortable.
Oh, okay.
no, I think
your hidden agenda.
isn't
I'm
it
a
his
little-
seventh function? Isn't it SE,
I
his
thought-
hidden agenda?
Which function is it? Obviously this is Socionics
your
protocol,
hidden-
so
Right. Your hidden agenda in MBTI is your third function. This is your hidden agenda.
what's the name of that function in
So-
Socionics?
But it says right here it's based on
Okay,
your fourth
for
function.
me-
Hey, Marjay, listen, I'm at Socionics.com. It says hidden agenda is based on your fourth function, the one that hardly gets satisfied because the other three functions are considered before it. Now, what I take this to mean is the seventh function. So for me, it's because 4 equals 7 in the numbering. I'm almost 100% sure that at this point, I've gone over it often enough with enough people telling me to disagree. It seems like nobody actually understands this, as far as I can tell, the numbering
I'm
thing.
not familiar with Socionics really that much.
So,
I'm not either, so I
okay,
can't really.
for me,
chime
okay,
in, but-
let's take INFJ for me. My hidden agenda is TI. It's going to be very important for me to understand, to be thought of as smart.
I agree.
That's gonna
That
be
makes
important.
sense, right? That
Mhm.
makes sense that you're saying
And for
to
yours,
understand,
as an
but that doesn't address the fourth,
As
third
an
thing.
ENTP. Okay, so actually, I have a question for you, Eric. I sent you a link.
Uh-huh.
It's diagrams I made.
Uh-huh.
It would help you understand it if you have
Well,
it.
here's the problem I'm having, Marjay. I get diagrams that tell me different things. I get diagrams. I'm looking at this shit all over the place, and I cannot get a firm answer about these numbering things. I'm pretty sure I got one last night, and I am almost 100% sure that in this instance, we're talking about the MBTI 7th function. That would be, for me, FI. Now, the reason it manifests as to be loved rather than
No,
to love is
your
because...
FI is your FI for you is your polar function. That's your
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. We're in agreement there. I'm saying this is related to your polar function, not to your third function. Not to my FE. And the reason it's related to it is because, look, if I wanted my third, my FE, my hidden agenda, that's not hidden. That's obvious. I want to make sure you guys are happy in some sense, right? That I'm worried about your emotions and stuff. To be loved means I want to actually experience my own emotions, not through other people. That's why it's like that. That's what makes it hidden, right? Same thing with you, with the TE. You want to understand. You're seeking TE mechanisms that'll tell you the truth about things. You're trying to figure that out. But it manifests. It sounds like TI, right? Same thing, but in opposite.
no. No,
Okay,
sorry,
but if
you got
I'm
it
wrong, why
Let's
does it say
take
4?
Zachary,
What's the
for
number then? You
example.
said 3 initially. It said 4 on the page. Who's right?
I said 3, MBTI 3.
Is MBTI 3 Socionics 4?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. So you have no fucking idea either. Nobody knows.
Yes, the
Nobody has any
issue is-
fucking clue. Nobody has any fucking
Okay,
clue.
I can look it up.
We all looked it up. We've gone through this. I've gone through this on the show like 4 times now.
I haven't.
It
Okay, all I
continually
know
produces
is your
contradictory
husband right
outcomes.
now.
It continually
Based on your
produces contradictory
MBTI
outcomes.
Okay, again, can I share something with you guys?
Share
Okay,
away.
so-
You can share all you want.
Can I share,
Did you bring enough candy for everybody?
I want the candy.
Yeah, I want the candy too. All right,
And
listen,
cheese.
this seems like a good ending spot on this as we once again collapse due to the Socionics MBTI numbering conundrum. that causes me more difficulty than anything in recent memory has ever caused me. So, on that note, I'm going to stop this video, and we'll take a little break, like a research break or something.
Isn't there like